And so, as we've been covering these last few weeks, today we are continuing on the journey talking about the idea that we want to assert our freedom. And the idea every day, every place you go, everything you do, you want to remain steadfast and solid in the boss energy path. You want to always be in your boss energy. This segment that we're covering right now is entitled Assert Your Freedom. And so I just want to go through the slides that we've previously done just to give us an update and to get us back to where we were. But just in the process of walking through this journey, freedom and staying in your freedom to stay in your boss energy is absolutely critical. You'll find different things coming in your life that's trying to pull you into a state of bondage. But to really stay in the boss energy path, you've got to maintain your freedom at all times. So that's what we're going to kind of touch on today. Again, I'm going to go back and touch on what we've already discussed in the segment. Again, we're talking about asserting our freedom, knowing that who we are, we've got to stay in a space, in a place where we assert our freedom at all time. So let's keep going and let's move forward with this idea and the concept. Our mission statement is to engage disruptive change. And I'm always talking about disruptive change because I believe until you get disrupted, until something in your norm, until something in your traditional or your typical, until something in that is disrupted, we'll talk about change, we'll want change, but we won't actually move into a place of change. So I'm really pushing the envelope here that we've got to get into a place of change. We've got to absolutely positively disrupt your norm. So if you're really in this boss energy path, then I guarantee there's some things in your typical that are disrupted right now. So the mission is always to engage disruptive change to nurture living in boss energy at all times in all places. The boss energy path, freedom is a must for the boss energy path. As long as bondage is there, the power is stifled or limited by whatever holds you in its chains. The primary place where freedom must exist, number one, is in your mind. The idea that disruptive change challenges everything that's in you and everything that you currently believe, so that you can anchor the core. And we looked at the things that shaped your mind, what shapes your beliefs, religion, society, and family systems. Now, the boss energy path can bring out the essence of your total freedom. That's what I want to get you to. That's our journey together, to get you to total freedom that's been waiting to be unleashed from the time you were born. How many of you believe that freedom is something that we all long for, but that you cannot live completely in this world, completely free? I've come to say that that's not true. You can walk the boss energy path. Now, as we look at it, we begin to manifest. See the power in the mirror. See power when you look at yourself in the mirror. Actualize your fullest potential. That's what you're here to do. That's what you're going to do. Align with others for synergy. As you get free, as you come into this new place and space, then we begin to connect one to another, just like the childhood song used to say, the toe bone connected to the next bone connected to the next bone. We begin to connect to one another and we can align for synergy. There are no carbon copies. Stand out in the crowd. Don't be afraid to be different. Assert your freedom. Do you. Release your boss energy and individuality. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Why now? Because we are in the age of the metaverse, and time demands that a major paradigm shift take place to usher in this new energy that we in. The sky is not the limit. The limit is only in your mind. Now we went to the place of understanding there will be obstacles, there will be doubters, there will be mistakes, but with hard work there are no limits. Nothing that's worth having something is going to be just free. Now, today we're going to start with this idea that the truth makes us free. The truth makes us free. Now, I know that in a lot of our lives, we have lived in falsehoods. And when I say that, I'm not saying in calling people liars. What I'm saying is, even when somebody told you, you can't do this or you can't do that, when someone spoke negatively to you, when someone spoke words over your life of death and darkness and inability and incapabilities, that is not the truth. And so when I start talking about coming into a place where truth makes us free, as we go through this phase, I want us to really stop and I want us to identify all of the areas in your life where you may not be operating in truth. Whether that truth came from a parent and something that they said to you, sometimes it comes from within your own thinking, your own mind, your own not seeing yourself in the mirror and seeing power. That place of fear, that place of anxiety and worthlessness. We were talking quite a bit this week about the loss of Sister Judd's life and how her daughter was saying how unworthy she felt. That is a person not living in truth. However, it's not uncommon that many experience that same feeling and mindset of worthlessness. But it's the truth that makes us free. And I like to say, from the standpoint of a lot of people that say this phrase from the ancients, it is not a matter of it sets you free, because if something sets you free, it can captivate you again. If somebody puts you in bondage and they set you free, or even let's take for instance the runaway slaves in slavery days, they would run away, and at the end of the day, you would have those slaveholders who would hire slave finders to go out and search and hunt so that they could bring them back into bondage. That's happening only because something that, in this instance, the slaves set themselves free. Or there are instances, even if I use that same analogy of slavery, where someone that was a slaveholder set the slave free, but then they went to an area where they did not acknowledge and honor the freedom that had been given to that slave, and they would then enslave them once more and again. If something sets you free, it can also take you captive again. But the truth will literally make you free, so that nothing and no one can take you into a state of bondage and captivity. So I want you to come to a place of living that is insistent upon living your truth. Living your truth, not what somebody's trying to impose on you, not what someone expects of you, not what someone has spoken over your life, and not even the fallacies and the falsehoods that you may speak to yourself. I need you to live in your truth, because that truth will make you free. Very significant. When we talked about anchoring the core, which was the first step that we dealt with, we really delved into the idea of spirituality. And when I come here in spirituality, because I do honor everybody in their spiritual journey, everybody does not have the same spiritual journey. Everybody does not have the same spiritual or religious beliefs. Let me separate religion from spirituality. Religion is that man has made. Religion is that has the tenets and the commandments and the ideas and the definitions of you have to do it this way, or you're not this, that, or the other. I want to move away from that and get back to spirituality, because spirituality is universal, and spirituality is that direct connection to God. So when we talk about anchoring the core, we're not talking about anchoring to a religion per se, but we're talking about anchoring to the God in you. Yes, the God in you that gives you the ability to move into the cosmos as stardust that's wrapped in human flesh. When we talked about anchoring the core, we identified so many different facets of understanding the elements, of understanding really what is your way and your method that works for you as far as connecting to your spiritual core. Are you that one that has prayer, and that is how you utilize and connect to your universe, that core of spirituality? Do you use the emptying out of meditation, where you center yourself by releasing everything out of your mind, out of your thoughts, and just empty yourself to hear and be listening to what the Spirit is saying to you? Are you that fill up your senses, which is, again, that's my method of anchoring my core. I love to go out in amongst nature and just be in the midst of nature and hear the sounds, feel the wind, feel the sun on my skin, watch the ripples on the pond, look at the sparkles of the water, and see and hear something speaking to me spiritually from that place. That's my place of anchoring the core. So I am the filling up meditative versus the emptying out. Whatever you found for anchoring your core and understanding your elements and how they all work together, understanding the states of matter and the different ways and phases that you may be in, understanding yourself in frequency, understanding your light, understanding yourself. All of this that brings you to a place of spirituality and being anchored in your core is part of what allows you to live and know your truth. And it allows you to shut out all of the other distractions. It allows you to shut out all of the other voices that are speaking in your head and outside of your head. It allows you to press past all of that to really know yourself so that you can begin to live your truth. That is essential, because I think many times, even when we go through the maturing process, I think people get to a certain age and stage and then realize, oh my God, I've lived over half of my life. I've lived the majority of my life, and I have not lived me. I have not lived my truth. I have not been the person that I really am. I've been an alien in my body. There are so many people that get to a certain age and realize that. And I think that's when, young people say, man, my mom got to a certain age and all of a sudden she didn't care. My dad got to a certain age and all of a sudden they didn't care. And when they say they don't care, it's like, I used to be able to manipulate them. I used to be able to get them to do this. I used to be able to get them to do that and push their buttons and da-da-da-da-da-da. And all of a sudden they're not responding to me anymore. That doesn't work anymore. Well, beloveds, more times than not, it's because those individuals have developed and matured and grown to a place where they realize, listen, I need to live my life as well. And you can't just push my buttons anytime you get ready. And all of a sudden they don't care. They start saying what's on their mind. They start speaking to people what's really in their heart. It's just that I have come to a place of understanding where I finally realized I've been having an experience outside of my body. I have been living this life out of body experience because I have not been anchored to my core and I have not been living my truth. And at this stage and age, I'm going to do it. And I think that's actually what happens more times than not. And what I want to encourage us to do at whatever age you are in life, at whatever stage and status you are in life, I'm saying to you, you don't have to get old and aged and as the young folk would think of us, over the hill, to be able to have that kind of freedom, because there's freedom with that. That other existence is a place of bondage. That other existence is holding you down, and it's almost like tying a noose around your neck, or that albatross that just will not let you go, that's tied around your neck, or taking that cement block, that anchor, and just tying it to your ankle and just watching you sink to the bottom of the ocean. That existence of life can be very, very tedious and very draining. But when you get freedom, there's something about when your core is anchored and that spirituality actually allows you to live your truth and be who you are. That liberating feeling and that liberating force, it's renewing, it's rejuvenating. It makes you, it's almost like you're floating on air. And when I say that, it's not a matter of, yes, there's still going to be things that are going to come into your life that are going to challenge you from time to time, without a doubt. But even as challenges come, when you are anchored to the core and your spirituality is allowing you the freedom, that's what we're talking about today, the freedom to be who you are, there's still something that's just not as weighted when you're in that state and in that place. And so I'm encouraging you, you've got to make sure, go back, and if you're not solid on that first step, anchoring the core so that you're solid in the spirituality. And again, whatever you espouse to for your spirituality, this does not come with a preconceived idea of what that must be. To each his own, and let every man be persuaded in his own mind, in her own mind. But find that place for you, and then anchor to that spirituality so that you can really live your truth, because therein comes the freedom. Again, you will know truth, and the truth makes free. The truth makes free. So with that, integrity becomes a very critical component that I think, as we look out in 2022 and the years preceding, I think we've seen a lack of integrity that has really driven our culture, a lack of integrity that has driven our society, a lack of integrity that has gotten us where we are right now today. So I promise you, when you begin to move in a place of integrity, there's a freedom that goes along with that just automatically resonates in your soul. It just automatically resonates in your mind and your emotions. When you walk in a place of integrity where people can trust what you say and people can trust who you are, there's a liberating feeling that comes along with that as well. Now, integrity, again, is not just a matter of talking and speaking a lie or acting a lie, but integrity goes back to, again, what I said earlier. Who are you? And are you living in freedom? Are you adjusting yourself to be accepted by people? Are you not being who you really are because you don't want to lose certain people out of your lives? Or is it a matter of you want to paint a picture and have a persona of a certain thing for certain groups of people, for certain situations, or whatever the case may be, where you want to be embraced and accepted, but it's not really who you are. It's not really who you're about, but you're putting on airs, if I can use that term. That too begins to challenge us in our integrity. I look out and I see when everybody is looking the same, doing the same, talking the same, speaking the same, something in my mind has to pop up and say, is everybody here walking in integrity? Because we're all individuals. How can we be individuals and lose all individuality in a certain setting and still be in a state of integrity? I just think there's a challenge there. When I have to look like everybody else, when I have to have what everybody else has, when I have to keep up with the Joneses and have an appearance, is that really integrity? And I want us to really come to a point where, you know, I look at things that people want. I look at things that people think I should be, look like, have, whatever. And some of those things are of absolutely no interest to me. Absolutely none. I talked on the other day about the simplicity that I was raised in the country. And, you know, I'm just an old country girl. What can I say? I'm just an old country girl. But even walking in my truth and not trying to be somebody that I'm not allows me to walk in a different level of integrity, in a different level of honor, in a different level of wholesomeness, because this is who I am. This is where I've come from. This is who I've developed into, and I'm free to be me. And what I've learned from that country has taught me so many things, and I'm able to incorporate that now into the city. I'm able to incorporate that now into the urban and the suburban and bring the two together, but I can still walk in integrity that at the core of me, this is who I am. I don't have to take on airs. I don't have to take on the same mindsets of this is what I've got to do to be a person that's accepted by society or this group or that group. I don't care. I really don't care. And this is where I want you to get to, that, like I said about the older people, when it seems like they just, child, you don't know what's going to come out of their mouths because they just don't care. To have that place of, with some censors on it, of course, with some filters on it, of course, but that attitude from the core of who you are, the core of your spirituality that doesn't care, you know, and yet this is my integrity that I walk in because I'm going to be who I am. I'm not going to be some form of me. I'm not going to be some derivative of me. I'm going to be me. All of that is entailed in integrity, and you need that integrity, beloved, to really come into a place of real freedom, for sure, for sure. So then it takes us to the point of saying, at the core of it all, know thyself. Know thyself. And it doesn't matter about the external. It's really a matter at this juncture about the internal. Know yourself and you will be happy. Live your life as yourself and you will be happy. And I'm amazed at the numbers of people that are clueless about who they are. They've lived life, they've walked the journey, and some way, somehow, they are in a state of literal bewilderment. They do not know who they are. When I started earlier and said, look in the mirror and see power. Look in the mirror and see power. When you know yourself, you will look in the mirror and see power, because that's who and what God created you to be. If you're looking in the mirror and you don't see power, I'm going to challenge you with this. You do not know yourself. And I'm going to say that once more and again. If you are looking in the mirror and you do not see power, you do not yet know yourself. And so there's something that's still hidden. There's something that still is in a place of bondage. There's something that's still shielded and shadowed so that you're not seeing clearly. Because when you see yourself, and this power is in everybody, it's not a certain few. Somehow in our societies, we've developed this mindset and idea that certain people are, oh my goodness, they've got it. They've got power. They've got this. They've got that. Listen, all of us have the ability to flourish, to be powerful, to be so potent in everything that we do. All of us have that ability. I want to drive this concept that only a certain few and only a handful get that. No, ma'am, no, sir. It's in everybody. So I'm going to say once more and again, if you don't look in the mirror and see power, you do not yet know yourself. So then again, the flip side of that, if the truth makes free, then deception makes bondage. If you're looking in the mirror and you don't see power, then you don't know yourself, because there's some level of deception that's still creeping and lurking around in your mind, in your heart, in your emotions, in your thought processes, in your history, in your trauma, in your past that's unhealed. There's some level of deception that's still lurking and working in you, and that makes bondage. So whenever you feel that you're not free, I want you to start looking for some deception. Immediately when you feel that there's some bondage that's overtaking you in your world, I want you to immediately begin to look, where is the deception? Because there's a deception present, beloved. There's a deception that's present that's taking you into that bondage. Because when you walk and live in your truth, that truth makes you free. And so then here we deal with the converse of that. It's deception of some sort in your mind that's making you walk in bondage. So as we look and we deal in truth within and without, I'm going inside within. I'm going within, and I'm looking for all the truth. I'm living in all the truth. I'm speaking. This is huge. I'm speaking in all the truth. Watch the words that come out of your mouth, because you create the fruit of your lips. Again, watch the words that come out of your mouth, because you create the fruit of your lips. Deal within and speak your truth. Speak it. Walk it, talk it, smell it, hear it, sense it. Everything about you in the level of truth. That's what I want you to deal in. And then without or outside of you, everything about you, I'm going to deal and I'm going to operate with myself in truth. It doesn't matter what the external is saying. It doesn't matter what the external is doing. I need you to be anchored, and I need you to really assert this freedom within your life at all times. So as we look at this idea that deception makes the freedom that you're looking for, I want to go on. I went backwards. I'm so sorry. I want us to look at this idea. It's the truth that makes us free. Come on. Our deepest fear. Thank you. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. This is from Marianne Williamson, one of my favorite quotes. And I love poetry, and I've heard all kinds of poetry down through the years. I love this quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond belief. I'm going to say that again. And this is really what frightens us, because with power and with great power comes responsibility and accountability. I'm going to say it again. With great power comes responsibility and accountability. And so there's something that within us, we kind of shy away and we feel uncomfortable with the power that we have. But our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, because you are not. You are fully capable. You are fully able. To think anything else is really deception. I've seen all kinds of videos. There's a man that had no legs, and he said, I am wholly present for my children. And I mean to tell you, that man with no legs on his hands does everything for his children, just like any two-handed man. That man, because he understands, I don't have a limitation. I don't have a restriction unless it's in my mind. And when I tell you, that video inspired me to no end. And I could go story after story after story of people that we would think are less than abled, and they are more than capable, because they do not allow what we see, what we size it up as a limitation. It's not a limitation to them. Why? Because their mind is not limited, and they do not stay in a state of fear of what they cannot achieve and what they cannot accomplish. So once again, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are actually powerful beyond belief. And you are actually powerful beyond belief. And I want you to get that in your shondo. So I want to show this little clip that I found on the internet that I want to share with you as we begin to wrap up on today. I think we're almost to the timing and the hour. So I want to get an opportunity to show this video and to have some conversation about it. But again, I want you to come out of the mindset of living in bondage. Come out of the mindset of living anything less than what God has created you to be, because you are all powerful in love. That's the way we end our stream every day. You are all powerful in love. If you can find your place of freedom and live in it continuously, if you can find that liberation that's just waiting for you to manifest every day, all the time, not just sometimes, but all the time, I promise you there's something different that's going to happen in your world. Now, I want to play this little video for you, and I enjoyed it this morning. Let me see if I have the volume on. I think I have the volume ready. I want you to watch this video, and I hope that it speaks to you as it spoke to me. It's powerful in and of itself. Just watch it and let it speak to you. And I want to say once more and again, the only thing that you have to fear is how powerful you are. That's really your deepest fear, because you are not inadequate. When you understand that and begin to live in that truth, it will give you freedom.
It's not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is mere insanity. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
Hold fear in one hand and passion in the other, and leap. Leap. Because only one of three things are going to happen. One, you're going to fly. Two, you're going to fall and hit something soft. Three, you'll fall and hit something hard and it'll band-aid. Either way, you've been built to last. Either way, you'll get up and do it again. Either way, you'll play full out. Yes, yes? Either way, you'll show up. Yes, yes? Either way, we'll get the best version of you. Yes, yes? Either way, it's your time right now. You assume you have forever. I'm saying you need now. Yes, yes? I'm saying be radical enough. Be outrageous enough. Be unapologetic enough to hold fear in one hand and passion in the other and leap anyway. Some of your fears come out of something someone said about you. Some of your best motivation came wrapped in sandpaper. Some of your best motivation didn't come wrapped in love and it came with warm cookies and milk. It came wrapped in sandpaper. It came wrapped in thorns. It came wrapped in that divorce. It came wrapped in the loss of a loved one. It came wrapped in something that didn't work. Some of your best motivation that you needed. Some of the best lessons that you need to learn.
Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
The thing that I really liked about that as well, and when it began to deal with the idea, and that's radical in thought in and of itself, that fear does not exist. Fear is a choice. Fear does not, and as I said, yes, there is danger, but you choose how you want to respond to that. And so I thought that was very radical in concept. But again, I started thinking about there is an ancient text that says perfect love casts out fear. When you begin to move into the realm of love, when you begin to move into the realm of what I'm going to call love as boss energy, whenever we're in that boss energy, whenever we're in that love, fear cannot cohabitate in that space because you are all powerful in love. So then to start shaping and forming within our minds, fear does not have to exist in my world. And as I said, fear is really about anxiety that we have about a future event, about what's going to happen, even if it's the next second, the next 10 minutes, the next hour. We start building up that level of fear. But again, that's a choice. Do I have to be fearful? Do I have to live in a state of fear? And again, how can fear, if perfect love, which is what God in that spiritual space is doing, if perfect love is casting out fear, how can fear in that perfect perfect love coexist? And do I choose to live in the highest degree of love, which casts fear out? It's a choice. So I'm reiterating again something that was said there. But then the idea that love, that power, that ability is within all of us, not just in some, but it's in everybody, to really start to push and propagate this idea amongst people. Give it to your children, give it to your family members. First and foremost, give it to yourself. But then when you do that, as was said, when you move in that realm of liberation, it also liberates others. I don't know if you all caught that in that segment, but when you start to live in that place, it not only frees you, it begins to liberate others. And I promise you that as more of us begin to walk in this place of freedom, your freedom is going to cause other people to want that same freedom that they see you manifesting. And then your freedom is going to set the next person free. Then we start going exponentially, because now I've got two people that are out here that are free and liberated, and they're manifesting what freedom looks like. They're manifesting what a fear-free world looks like, and again, not taking away the fact that there is danger, but how am I responding to that danger? How am I dealing with that danger? And that still, can we begin to identify and encourage ourselves and others to begin to live a fear-free existence? It seems like, no, you can't do that, especially in a society right now that is so fear driven. And I'll say this, even as a person of faith and as a person of the clergy, I've seen more fearful people in religious settings than I've seen people just out there in the world. And I'm like, how is it that people that are saying they're spiritually connected, I see more fear in those groups than I see in those that don't come inside the four walls of an established religion? It seems almost backwards to me. If we really have the connection and we really have the affiliation, relationship with God as we say we have, why are we so fearful while those that don't darken the doors and don't embrace this theology are living fear-free? It's almost like it's flipped on its ear. And that's very mystifying to me. And I've noticed this, and I've noticed it for years, that it seems like some of the people that say they know God are the most fearful people. But I also denote that those are people that come from fear-mongering religions. And I'm going to say that again, and I'm not saying it with any level of maliciousness or anything, but those individuals tend to come from religious doctrines and dogma that is very fear-mongering in its origin. So that fear you just have people that are walking in fear. So this idea of being able to be free from fear. Be free from fear. If perfect love, which is what God is, this is when we start talking about anchoring our core spiritually. If perfect love and having that perfect balance and the highest degree of love operating and manifesting in our world, because that's what love is. The deity in God to me is love. God is love. So when we start talking about what God is and what love is, it has to cast the fear out. It has to cast the fear out. And as the fear is cast out, I'm free. As the fear is cast out, I am free. And what did we say from the very beginning is that truth makes free. Truth makes free, while the flip side and converse of that is that deception makes bondage. And that's where I want to stop on today. I think, yes, I'm perfect time because my alarm's going off here. It's time for me to wrap it up. So that's where I wanted to go today with freedom. And freedom is very critical to boss energy. You cannot be in the fullness of your boss energy and still be tied up, shackled up, and in bondage to slavery. in your mentality, in your mindset, in who you are. You've got to be free, and that freedom will empower you in your boss energy. So I'm gonna wrap that up today, and I'm gonna come back over and we'll take any comments, any questions that you all want to insert here. I'm welcoming your ideas, your participation, and feel free, just take yourself off mute and go ahead and share whatever's on your heart.
I'm gonna go first this time because that girl, I started writing in my journal, child. That can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. That fear is a choice really hit home. That really hit home for me. And so I had to start writing in my journal. I was like, wait a minute, that really hit home. So that really brought up some things that personally I've been dealing with. And so that's a journey that I'm getting ready to get started on right now today.
Awesome.
So thank you for that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Rebel. Thank you. And fear is a choice. We don't think of it that way, but fear is a choice. It's a choice. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cassie. Go right ahead, dear.
Yes, this is, I like to say awesome. I spend so much, I'm one of those people that kind of lived in I would say, a fog because I always had on so many masks trying to please others. But thank God for the journey. This is changing. I'm unmasking myself to transform into my best iteration that knows how to love me so that I can really have some love to give to others.
Yes.
And free of fear and be the best me because I'm learning how to not like, love, and embrace all of my wonderfully made self. And now self-love is taking place and healing is taking place.
Yes. I love this. Y'all about to make me jump up out of my chair. Rebel almost had me about to run. And you listen, I'm about to pull my wig, whatever. I'm about to be bald headed because listen, y'all just about to make me go there. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? Tall pumps, truck driver. Oh my God. Y'all got me just jumping and leaping on the inside.
Good evening, good morning, everyone. I'm talking about good evening.
Good morning, truck driver.
I just wanted to say that listening to that about fear, as Pastor Cassie has said just a minute ago, it made me look at things different now. And like Rella said, writing down some things to say, hey, I'm not gonna be fearful no more. I'm gonna take care of self and do for self and make self right and well and not be fearful, and then I can pass it on to someone else, because like I said, I have two grown sons, but I know in their life they have been fearful. So if they see that I'm not afraid anymore,
yes,
even though they're wrong, they will say, well, Dad ain't scared, so why should I be fearful? Let me talk to him and see what he did. So with this here, like I say, it's really helping me in this class. I'm learning a lot, and from this day forward, I ain't gonna be scared of anything.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I love how you stated about your sons, because whether we realize it or not, more times than not, our children are picking up these traits and characteristics from the parents. I look at myself as a child, loved my parents, and I can remember how much I said, ooh, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to do that. And at the end of the day, what did I do? It's almost like carbon copy imitation with that on automatic pilot, because that's what I picked up. That's what was modeled in front of me. And so then as you start seeing something else being modeled, as you start seeing something else being manifested before your eyes as a child, it starts to give you a different option, a different choice. So I love this idea of becoming free yourself from fear so that your sons can then see that and make that adjustment also. And that's very true, which then goes back to what it said when you really begin to walk in that liberation, your presence begins to liberate others. Your presence begins to liberate others because they're watching that. They're watching that so closely. And actions do speak louder than words. We can say one thing with our mouths, but when they see something in action that's showing them something different, that's something that they can actually sink their teeth in and make a change. So thank you for that, Truck. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Anything else that you want to share about today's session? Feel free. Tall Pumps, I know you may be auditing. I don't know if you can talk or if you want to talk, but I just don't want to leave anybody out. But anybody else that has any points that you want to address? Freedom is so critical, y'all, to the boss energy path. You must be free and stay free at all times, in all places. You must stay free.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Yes, Tall Pumps, go ahead. I'll get right after Tall Pumps, Cassie. We'll get back to what you want to say. Go ahead, Tall Pumps.
Yeah, I was saying that I did just like Rebel. I grabbed my notebook and started writing down, especially when you put that quote up there. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but that our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond our belief. That really resonated with me as I heard that and you repeated that, and thinking about others watching me and having setbacks, because you will have setbacks and defeats, but you have to, have that balance.
Yes.
To continue anchoring your spirituality.
Yes.
So you can move forward without, kind of wallowing in the disappointment that you may be experiencing, and knowing that I have a child that's watching me.
Yes.
So I have to be more resilient and demonstrate balance with her, as well as myself. So just making sure we're all balanced with our frequency, maintaining that frequency, and getting back up on the horse.
Good word. Thank you so much for that. Cassie.
I also enjoyed that point that she just spoke on, but the other point that really set in my spirit, that to be made free versus set free. Because like you said, if someone or something sets you free, it has the potential to come and put you in bondage again. But once we ourselves know within ourselves we're made free, we can maintain our freedom in any life arena. And that's what we have to learn how to do.
Good word. Oh my goodness. Yes. And I've always noted the difference between, and people often more times than not say set free, the truth will set you free. And I've always made the distinction between set free and made free, and the word is made. And there's a difference between set and being made. When you know that I'm made free, even when someone tries to put you back into some level of bondage, I was made free. So you don't have the ability to bring me back into a place of bondage, because I never was intended. I was not created for bondage, so you can't put me there. And there's an extra level of determination and understanding that allows you to maintain your freedom when you know that it makes you free, not a matter of being set free so you can captivate me again. So thank you for that. Good point. Very good point. Whew, I'm telling y'all, this is some good stuff. This is anything else. I don't want to shut anybody down, because this is good to me. It's good to me. All right. What I will do, I want to thank you all for your time. I'm going to allow you to redeem some time this morning. We're getting done a little bit early, but I do understand that you all are thinking, your brains are turning, you're making notes, you're journaling, you're writing. And that's what I always want, because this journey is really about you knowing you. It's not about trying to, jam a whole bunch of knowledge and information down your throats from a technical standpoint to be able to walk around and spout off this, that, and the other. It's about you knowing you and absorbing what you need for you to walk in your fullest potential and be always and forever in your boss energy. And I just want to say this, I've seen every last one of you, Cassie, Tall Pumps, Truck, a Rebel. I've seen every last one of you in your trajectories just growing and growing. I really, really have. I've seen you in different places. I've listened to things that you've said, even conversation here in class, on Twitch, wherever. I see growth, I see transformation, I see boss energy, and that is what really has me swinging from the rafters. And I do believe that as you guys walk out and amongst the people are going to be very attracted to what you have and who you are. I feel like God is going to use you in a very mighty way, because the development of your boss energy is so potent, it's so powerful, that it's going to draw like a magnet. So don't be surprised when people begin to approach you and talk to you and entreat you that normally maybe in the past it was no connection, no interest, whatever, but that boss energy that you guys are now exhibiting and I mean it's coming in richly. Don't be surprised when people start approaching you, because it's a magnet. It just is. It's a magnet. So get ready. I'm so happy, and I hope that at the end of this 10 weeks, we'll start another 10 weeks, but I'm hopeful that you'll be able to go back through those journeys in your journal and see just how rich your journey has been, because I'm telling you, it's powerful. It's absolutely powerful. All right. I love you. If all hearts and minds clear, anything that anybody else wants to say, because I don't want to cut anybody off before we dismiss class today.
I did have a question as you were talking about journaling.
Yes.
Did you say the last time that we met that you were sending us questions?
You know, I think I probably was supposed to send you some questions, Tall Pumps. Let me go back and listen to that segment, and if y'all can refresh my memory, I can do it directly. I'm going to say, just in all honesty, with the demise of my cousin and me taking on his business, my brain has been scrambled. So I very well could have said that, and then in the process of all of that, missed that assignment to myself. So refresh me if you remember, or I'll just go back and look at the clip.
I just remember that part of it. I was like, and I was wondering if I missed the email, and where were you going to put them at? I think you were going to email them out. Does anybody else remember her saying she was going to send us some questions? Or am I imagining? you say you think so, right? Spiritual thought leader?
I think I did.
I believe you did say that. Yes.
I think I did. I just need to go back and see what and no, they'll come to your email, and no, you didn't miss it. I forgot it. And just, I'm going to purely say, I just missed that detail because it was a lot on my plate and I just missed it. But I will go back and get that, because I want you to get the full experience of the journey. So let me go back and find those questions that we had talked about, and I'll get those to you. Thank you for as a matter of fact, let me write myself a note. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? You guys know I love you. I just absolutely love you. I want you to have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and keep writing, keep journaling, and by all means, maintain your freedom. And we'll come back next week with another discussion. Next week, let me say this. Next week, I was going to try and do it. I'm going to be out in Richmond, Virginia, but I don't know what kind of resources I might have. I'll know for sure after I get there. I'm going in on Thursday, so I will let you know on Friday if I am or not going to be on Saturday. If I don't have the resources, meaning internet capability and all of that, I won't be here next Saturday, only because I'll be out of town. But if I do have those resources, I'll see you here next Saturday, but I'll let you know before we get here. All right. Love you guys. Have a great day.
You too.
Everybody have a great day.
You too.
Bye.